And welcome to the roll-up. This is something new. I've been slowly doing it little by little. Sorry for the creaking. My table is made of glass and metal, so it makes noise when I lean on it. I will try not to do that or do any of that stuff. So the roll-up is basically it's replying to all of the chats, all the comments in the chat that actually were coherent, made sense, and were to the point, and were prepper related or just all over newsworthy. We're going to cover those. We're also going to talk a little bit about the ammunition problem within the nation, and we'll kind of go from there. For those of you that are watching now, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. They say I'm not supposed to ask for it up front, but you know what? Just knock it out. Just get it over and done with. You're going to hear me ask one more time before we're done, but it's all for a good cause. It's all for a good cause. All right, so the first thing we want to talk about is I got a comment on my EMP shield versus trap. If you don't know what that is, EMP shield is a way of protecting your vehicle, your house, whatever it may be. You basically hardwire it into your system, whether it rolls or is stationary, and it will protect your vehicle or your electronics that you have plugged in or whatever it may be from an EMP. And that's what it's supposed to do. The trap is a different device. I don't recommend you buy it because it's had problems and has been sued and lost. All right, so the person who left this comment is David Ben-Hayon. And he says, I'm sad because I just can't afford one of these. Definitely not both. Is there an alternative way to protect my car? Well, if you own a modern vehicle, no, there's no way to protect it at all. And because right now there's probably over 200 processors on your modern vehicle. Let's not even count the sensors and the half a mile of wire. Old cars were made very different than the more modern cars are. No computers, no crazy stuff. You just kind of went on. Now, some of the earlier model cars that started to have computers on them, you could actually have a backup computer in a Faraday box inside of your vehicle. You could also have a backup electronic point system, and that might work. But for the most part, the answer is no. Now, why do we need an EMP shield? Well, it's actually pretty simple. Things are kind of going crazy these days, you know. I mean, the threat of nuclear war is I honestly believe it's more real now than it was during the Cold War. I lived through the Cold War. It was something we thought and talked about daily, and now it was less dangerous then because we actually had national or nation powers that were in control, that only had these devices. Now there's several countries that do have them. You've got Iran, who we think has one nuclear device now, and the thought of if Israel were about to be overrun, they would most definitely use their nuclear weapons. Now that's a deterrent, but once the game starts, you never know how it's going to end if you don't have an EMP shield. And the thing is, too, is a lot of people, are thinking about like, well, we would be able to shoot down a missile, that might be possible, an HEMP device over the United States. And there is some thought that, yes, it could be, unless it was hypersonic. That's not going to happen. But also, people also forget that there are also tactical nukes that could be put down over the top of a city versus going after the entire nation in one blow. So there's a lot of strategy that these nations would use to take us out. And if you don't have protection for your vehicle, then you're going to likely not be driving a vehicle if an EMP event happened that was strong enough to affect you. Now, with that said, if you go to my website, localprepper.net, you will actually see trusted products. Scroll on down there, take a look at it. The EMP Shield is not an expensive device, but I've got a code in there, localprepper, all one word. I think that's what it is, and you can save $50 on the item. So I would invite you to take a look, regardless of if you buy. All right, so let's go on to the next one. I'm going to click these buttons. I must have clicked on something here, so it doesn't. All right, so somebody made a post, M-I-R-U-S-T-I-C-X, Muristics. It was on one of the PrepStock advertisements, and it said we might not have PrepStock 2024. We might be exercising our craft for real. It is very possible. It is very possible. But this actually goes to the argument of living your life versus living in fear. Oh, I would never spend $34.99 because there might be a nuclear war before then. That's illogical. That makes no sense. If you live like that, get back in your cave. If you want to go to PrepStock right now, there's still 8 tickets available on the pre-sale for $34.99. And yeah, get on Clapper and go find those things. Go to It's Doomsday Podcast, click on the orange button, and get those tickets. And as far as living like that, guys, it's just ridiculous. You know, everybody's like, I'm not paranoid. I'm going to thrive. I'm not going to just survive. I'm going to thrive. Well, that kind of mindset, when you say that we might be exercising our craft for real, I can't tell via text whether you're just being funny or if you're being one of those cave dwellers who thinks that, you know, because I learned how to make some flint arrowhead, that I'm some super secret or super special craft guy in the survival realm. You know, I'm going to make a bow and arrow out of dental floss and blue jeans. It's just not thinkable. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the next one. The next one is, this comment actually came from one of the live streams in the last week, and this was from Cronin. If you're bugging out, get an old TomTom nav gadget on eBay so that you can throw your phone in a Faraday bag. Might be a good idea. Okay, so we were actually talking about navigation and how we would navigate after an EMP, after a bad event, and the likelihood of the satellites in your area, not super great. Not super great. Now, the Milsat satellites that will play in the GPS realm, they will likely still be working. Those guys are shielded. They're outside of the realm of an EMP area. They're kind of higher in orbit, and so they're going to be reasonably safe from an event. Now, what Cronin is suggesting is just get yourself an old TomTom, make sure that it's charged up, you know, and throw it inside your little Faraday bag or Faraday cage, and you'd still be able to use it to navigate as long as those satellites were not taken out. Simply because there's an EMP does not mean that the satellites won't work. If the satellites were in LEO or low Earth orbit, there's a good chance in that particular area that they could be damaged or not function properly. But the Milstar satellites, those guys are up way high. They're geosynchronous. They are not going to be affected by an EMP. They put them up there that high purposely. So let that one in, Cronin. That is a great idea. Everybody else should be paying attention. Let's see here. From our last roll-up video, Chester Master 8575 said, I believe we need another revolution to clean up our government. I don't know anything else that will work. There's a lot of truth to that. There's a lot of truth to that, guys. One of the problems that we have is that we have gotten, you know, the government used to run on this one single document and then a few laws here and there. And then we just started making law after law after law after rule after rule after rule, appointing these unelected officials into positions of power to rule our lives. I hate to say it, but Chessmaster has a valid point, because they're not going back. They're not going to change the way. It's too hard for these people to change the way they're doing things. It would literally be like you changing the letterhead on a 50-year company and going back and changing every single document. It's not going to happen. And they don't want to do it either. They want things to stay the way they are. They want to pull those taxes in. They want to make you pay them. At some point, we're going to get 60, 70% of our income taxed. So what do? We have to continue to prepare. We need to be, if anything, if the very minimum, you should be stacking cans like it's cool. Stacking and rotating, because that is called food insurance. And when the price of food goes through the roof, you will have that food already. It's the same thing with gasoline. If you have the ability to store gasoline, The price of gasoline is going to be going through the roof in the next year. Mark my words. So back to what he was saying, a revolution may actually be the only way to fix this country. Other than that, people are just going to be like, it was okay for about 6 months and then it went right back to crap. And that's exactly what's probably going to happen. All right, let's see. We're going to move on to the next question. And that one came off of one of the PrepStock advertisements. That was Pat, a.k.a. Cool Colt. And he said, proper distillation can be a usable skill to possess for many reasons. Barter, medicinal, etc. You could get a rep from a local distillery to teach a class. Pat, that is a great idea. We do have several breweries in the area of PrepStock. So maybe we need to look for an actual small distillery, a licensed distillery in the area, and maybe get them to come and give a class. Now, would they be making alcohol? Likely no, because I don't know if they could follow the state-mandated rules inside of a state park. But it's definitely worth looking into. And the truth is that we should all have the ability or know how to distill water, to distill spirits, because like he said, it's good for medicine. Some states it's completely legal. Other states it's not. You need a license. And they're not just going to give it to you just because they want to. Yeah, I think we will definitely be looking into that and seeing what we can do. The worst thing that can happen is that the people we ask say no. That's literally the only thing that would happen. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the odd stuff. Somebody posted this in the Discord a couple days back, and it's titled. It actually came from Truth Speak Bad. He's actually one of our Patreons. If you're interested in supporting the channel and being a Patreon, there's a link below. All right, so he said, current situation. 1, stocks falling like a recession is coming. Okay. Number 2, home prices rising like there's no recession. Okay, that's a little confusing. 3, bonds falling like the Fed is raising rates. 4, gold rising like the Fed is cutting rates. 5, oil prices raising like a major war is coming. 6, tech stocks rising like there's no problem at all. And then he closes by saying, nothing adds up. Well, True Speak Dad, that's actually a very simple answer. This is exactly how they want us to feel. They are doing whatever they want to do. They don't care what we think, and they are going to bombard us with information. They're going to make things do stuff that they never did before, because it's easy to confuse people, and when they do these things, it messes with everything. We're starting to get used to being throat punched every day. We're starting to get used to it, and that's exactly what they want. At some point, this could turn into one of those things where we're here, they're creating the problem so that they can provide the solution. We've all heard that one before. All right, let's see here. The next thing I'm going to talk about, and it's probably going to be the last thing that I'm going to talk about during this live feed, is going to be ammunition. Now, I am not promoting ammunition. That is against YouTube guidelines, so I will not do that. Here's what I will tell you. Did you know that the United States makes 60% of the small arms ammunition for the entire world? It's absolutely amazing. I'm looking at some charts in front of me. I could put them up here on the screen, but let's just stick to the text. So, and according to multiple news sources, the newest issue with ammunition in the United States is Lake City Ammo Plant has canceled all of its commercial contracts. Now, you guys have been hearing this, but I need to tell you about some more detailed stuff. This means that stores will no longer be able to purchase ammo from Lake City, which currently supplies 30% of the civilian market of 5.56 ammunition. Then you've got this Czech company. It's actually an IT company that's gobbling up all of the U.S. ammunition manufacturers. They're buying the companies. They've bought Remington, Federal, CCI, and there's a couple others that are in the process of being sold off. So I did some research, and there's basically 10 ammunition producers in the United States that are big enough to be affected by this. The first one is Federal Premium Ammunition. They bought them. The second one is Remington Arms. They bought them. You got Winchester Ammunition, and that one is owned by the Olin Corporation. I've heard problems with that. You've got Hornaday, and that was the one where I think that was the one where they actually had the explosion, but doesn't seem to be associated with anything that's tinfoil hat. Then you've got CCI, or Case Cartridge Inks, and that is a subsidiary of Vista Outdoor, which was sold to this Czech tech company because Vista Outdoor owned Federal Premium. Now, what do you have left? You have Spear, you have Fiachi, you have Sig Sauer Ammunition, you have Barnes Bullets, and Nosler. Some of these you've never even heard of before because they're that small. Now, what does this mean? That means that there is going to be a run on ammunition. We're starting to see $1 per round ammunition for 5.56 or 2.23. It's going to start happening. If you've got yours now, obviously continue to train, but you might want to take a look at your stockpile and realize that if you're used to going running and gunning every weekend to keep your skills up and have fun, then you might want to back that off just a little bit because there will be a run on ammunition here in the United States. And if we don't prepare for it by either buying more before it gets ultra crazy or understanding that our stockpile is limited and maybe curtail our use of it. Either way, unless you're a millionaire, this is going to affect everybody who has a firearm in the nation. So I wanted you guys to know about that, and that's the news that is going to be added to this roll-up for the evening. Now, I said it in the beginning. I'll say it again. If you like what I'm doing, do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button. If you're new to the channel, definitely hit the subscribe button. I'm trying to do every one of these at around 4 p.m. every day, and also to try to do a live stream at 9:30 Monday through Friday. And obviously any of these other videos like bug out bags and typical, very clean, homegrown type videos for preparedness. I'm still doing those, but for right now, these are the two that I'm working on the most. As you can see, the pack has changed because I use the pack that used to be back there is now my get home bag, which I will be making a video on in the future. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out with me. Looks like a clean 17, 18 minutes. Stay safe. Have a great day, and I'll see you. Wait. One more thing. Guys, PrepStock 2024. Not a joke. I'll put an advert at the end of this video anyway. There's 8 tickets left. PrepStock.net. Go there. Get the tickets before they increase in value. Get them now. All right, guys. Stay safe. Have a great day, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye-bye. I'm going to start pushing some buttons now.